Good morning and welcome to the weekly updates. This is Digital India podcast brought to you by Web Marketing Academy, and this is your host Mansi. Here are the updates for the week. BusinessInsider.in ran an interesting article on why e-commerce firms do aggressive advertising. The reasons they quote is e-commerce portals bring brands under one umbrella, are easy to access, and are available for a much cheaper price. Exactly the things Indians urge for. Anil S. Nair, CEO and Managing Partner, Law and Kenneth Saatchi & Saatchi says, e-commerce and new tech-enabled businesses have been dominating the ad spends for 2 quarters now. I don't see a change for some time till the funding dries up or the investors run out of patience. K. Vaitheshwaran, e-commerce pioneer and founder of India Plaza, India's first e-commerce website, opines that the forecast is not surprising at all. Selected Indian e-commerce companies are flush with funds. Their only goal currently is to increase top line and acquire customers, whatever the cost, to enable next round of funding. BusinessInsider.in is also saying that, strangely, traditionally large offline ad spenders like FMCG, telecom, BFSI companies are allocating higher amounts of their ad budgets to online, while pure play online companies like e-commerce firms are spending more offline. When asked to comment, Mahesh Murthy, founder Pinstorm and managing partner Seed Fund, said that this is a temporary blip which is happening because e-commerce firms have been funded in silly ways to burn each other and not to do good business. Moving on to the next update, according to vccircle.com, India's largest cellular service provider, Bharti Airtel, has unveiled what it calls Airtel Zero will allow marketeers to small-time application developers to make parts or their entire mobile app free to access for customers. Srini Gopalan, Director, Consumer Business, Bharti Airtel India, said Airtel Zero can work as a marketing mechanism for small developers or startup shops that face budget constraints towards driving promotions and app downloads. Moving on to the next update, knnindia.co.in reports that AdTech 2015, claiming to be world's largest global digital marketing and advertising conference and exhibition, having 14 shows worldwide, concluded its 5th edition of the New Delhi show. According to the report, the show has more than 4,000 marketing, technology and media communication professionals. It had over 110 speakers from over 70 companies. Some of the interesting topics were discussed, such as the future of performance marketing, role of data and automation in future media planning, opportunities in video advertising and platform, the future of e-commerce, m-commerce, challenges in delivering premium experience to online shoppers, and last but not the least, mobile users are everywhere. Why are they out of reach for marketeers? Moving on, according to a recent report from Financial Chronicle, mobile e-commerce is likely to overtake e-commerce in the next few years, spurred by the continued uptrend in online shopping and increasing use of mobile apps. As per KPMG report, it is estimated that the mobile app download would grow sixfold by the end of this year to 9 billion apps. The article also lists India contributed to 7% of the global app downloads last year. People accessing internet through their mobiles has jumped 33% in 2014 to 173 million. Mobile internet access is expected to grow 21% till 2019 to touch 457 million. The KPMG report has further stated that as much as 90% of the apps downloaded in the country are free. Nearly 98% of Google's Play's global revenue from apps and games is coming from freemium apps. Moving on to the next update, according to an article in ET, it's not just buyers and sellers who are thronging the e-tail sites. Now, ads are flowing in too. According to the article, OLX, Taxi for Sure and HDFC Life have started placing targeted ads on e-commerce portals. Analytics from Taxi for Sure has stated that after putting up ads on Flipkart and Snapdeal, their customer base rose by close to about 30%. Sterling Holidays also advertised on Flipkart and stated that such avenues are another medium to reach out to shoppers. That was the news update for the week from India. And now we have in the WMA studio Miss Monica. Hi Monica, welcome to our show. Introducing Monica to our listeners. Monica comes with over a decade of experience. She started off with the IT field and moved on to content writing. She then took up a course at WMA and moved on to be a brilliant consultant for digital marketing. Probably she's one of the most sought after in Bangalore right now. Today, she's here to give us an update on mobile SEO, the newest and the most talked about subject this week. Welcome to the studio, Monica. Thank you so much for coming, for starters.
Thank you for having me.
Great. So, Monica, why I wanted you here was the fact that I'm seeing a lot of SEO people kind of jump up and straighten up and talk a lot about mobile SEO. You're the expert. I thought I should ask you on why are they all jumping up? As in, what happened?
One thing to consider here is mobile SEO is not something new which Google is advocating. Google has been talking about mobile SEO since a long time. It's just that they have given a deadline now, which is getting people into a big dizzy. But if you see, mobile has been on people's minds since the last 2 years or more, actually.
Okay.
And because if you see, if you take only the stats of US, about 77% of the searches are done on mobile.
Wow.
So if you think that you have a website, but the content and the layout is not optimized for a mobile interface, then you are losing out, because if the desktop user has a short time span, the mobile user has a minuscule time span. That is the amount of time they're going to wait for your website to load. So if your website is not optimized in terms of speed, in terms of content, in terms of layout, to look good on the mobile interface and to help the user get to what they want on the mobile interface quickly, then you are the one who's losing out.
So when you say losing out, in what way?
So when you're losing out, for example, you run a query on your mobile device and a list of websites come up. Now the first one opens up and this guy is not able to understand, where should I go? I searched for this, but now where should I go? He can't make out. So he opens the second one, and in the second one there's a large button which tells him where he needs to go, what he needs to do, and it makes the navigation very clear. So it's like very intuitive for that user to just go where he wants to be. So this is the difference. So what Google is now saying, that make sure that your websites are mobile friendly, because mobile friendliness will impact the ranking of your website on mobile searches, not on desktop. So if you go and see now, when you do a search on mobile, all the results are tagged with either mobile friendly or they are not tagged mobile friendly. So the ones who are not tagged mobile friendly will have a lot to worry about after April 21st, because Google will then, the algorithm then will rank those websites lower. So if there are other websites who are giving the same information but their website is mobile friendly, they will come up high.
So to sum it up, Google has given a deadline of April 21st to make all the websites mobile friendly, but this is going to impact only on mobile searches.
Yes.
But considering that the searches are growing on mobile, it makes sense that people change. So when you say change, okay, let's say I'm the business owner and I have a website, or I'm a person, I still have a website. So what changes am I expected to make, and how do I make those changes?
So there are a number of options. Google Developers has a lot of documentation which tells you what you can do to optimize your website for mobile. Many people now are using responsive web design anyway. So when you're using responsive web design, that means that your interface is going to look good and usable both on the desktop and the mobile devices. Or there are people who are using dynamic serving, where you have one URL, but depending on how the server detects whether the request is coming from the desktop or the mobile device, they direct the user to a different interface, which is optimized for the device. Okay. Or they have separate URLs. So all this documentation is provided by Google, where they are, and I'm not sure this is something which people are just going to get into it now, because the fact that you have to have a website which is optimized for the mobile users has been on since a long time. So a lot of organizations, so there would be only a very small group of people who are still sticking to a very old kind of website. I see websites which are like 3 years old, 4 years old, longer than that, but they are mobile friendly because it's not a new thought. So just getting into that flurry of what should we do, that should not actually come up, because if you have been preparing your business for the future, then your website should already have been mobile friendly by now.
Okay, and you mentioned something about Google and developers. So where do I find this information if I'm the owner of the site.
So you can go to developers.google.com, and if you just do a random search, never mind developers.google.com, if you just do a random search and you search for information on how do I make my website mobile friendly, you will come across so many sources of information.
Okay. So is there anything else that you would like
And
to
another
add?
thing is that you can also use mobile-friendly tool where you can verify each page of a URL. You can give the URL of each page within your website to make sure that it is mobile-friendly.
So where is this mobile friendly
This
tool?
is also available from Google. If you do a search on mobile-friendly tool, you will get access to it. There is another tool called Page Speed Insights, which helps you see whether your page is performing well, both on desktop and mobile. If you see Google Webmasters, they have a mobile usability feature included, which will tell you which page is getting impacted and it will also tell you what are the reasons that it is considered unfriendly to a mobile user. So it will give you actual points on, your interface elements are too close to each other, your fonts are too small. Very, very precise information which you can easily act on.
Okay, so everything is available on Google. So it's for us to go through that, see how it works, and make and as you said, Google actually suggests that these are the changes that you should make to make it more mobile friendly.
Yeah.
So we just have to make those changes, and then we are up and running.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Monica. Thanks for coming to the studio and talking to us about this. Good. This was great. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed listening to the show. Catch up with us on weekly updates for the next week. And until then, you could connect with us on Facebook as Web Marketing Academy and on Twitter as WMA India. Or you could also write to me on MANASI, that's Manasi at webmarketingacademy.in. Your feedback is always welcome and I await your email. Here is your host Mansi signing off with the hope to see your email soon. Bye-bye.